would like to welcome everybody to the County Commissioners meeting. Still not? Could you hear it back there, Ray? You couldn't? Usually you can hear it whenever you.
Here comes help.
Josh did it. Three.
We don't have anything.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
No, it's not. There it is. Whoa.
I like it.
Thanks.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the July 18th County Commissioners meeting. If you'd all stand for Pledge of Allegiance. We actually had Troop 219 here. Scoutmaster is Terry Boyer. Terry, I'm going to let you guys lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance, sir. Right into that mic if you want.
Scout salute. Please join me to pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Bow for a word of prayer, please. Our Father in God, we just thank you for that daily walk that you give us, Lord. We thank you for all the many blessings you pour out upon us. We thank you especially for that rain that these farmers and anybody with a garden needs, Lord. We thank you for the green grass. We thank you for the sunshine. We thank you for the warmth, Lord. I want to thank you for all the men and women that was dealing up there in Greenwood with that tragedy, not only at the mall, but also in India, Beach Grove, with these senseless shootings that's taken place, Lord. And we just ask you, please wrap your arms around this great planet that you created and calm things down and put a bind on Satan, Lord. We ask it on your name, Jesus. We ask for your wisdom also tonight and your direction in everything that we do that's pleasing in your eyes as well as the taxpayers. We ask it on your name, Jesus. Amen. We're going to take just an extra minute. These young gentlemen took time to come here tonight. And Terry, I'm going to let you have an opportunity to let each one of them introduce themselves, sir. We really appreciate you, Terry, bringing the gentleman out here tonight and seeing how local government works, and we just really appreciate it. And thank you guys for your interest in coming out. Before you got the minutes that Deb sent out, I know everybody's had a chance to look at them. I'd entertain a motion as presented or with any corrections you see. I didn't see any in them, but I might have overlooked something.
Move to approve as presented.
We got a motion by Mr. Adams to approve as presented. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Collier. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. They had an executive session that just wound down just a little while ago, and I'm going to open it up and I was not present for the executive session. I was out at the 4-H judging contest out there this afternoon. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Collier and let him or Mr. Adams, either one, give a short summary of what took place and any motions that might need to be made, it sounds like.
Well, we had an executive session to discuss a situation that the county was in, and it needs to come before this body for a vote. So I'd make the motion that we accept the agreement that was in the executive session.
We got a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion from the board? I will state that I do know what it was about. I just was not able with the conflict with the 4-H judging to be able to be a part of the meeting, but I'm aware of what it was about. So all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. We got an MOU, Josh. I'm going to let you bring it up with White River Alliance, and I will talk about the location, or I can do it all, whatever's best for you, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen. White River Alliance is doing an art exhibition around different places around the state where they're putting up some canoes that have been painted as an art exhibit. I believe they touched base with Commissioner Hale, and that's how the point of contact got sent my way. But we have an MOU for them to put an installation out there. Commissioner Hale has already coordinated with them the location where it needs to be. It's a very simple contract. They've already provided a certificate of insurance. Jim has already reviewed it, and we have no issues from our side if this is something you all would like to move forward on.
Basically what this is, these are canoes that have actually been painted by selective artists in each county's community. There's 12 of them that got put up last week. The 13th one will be put up in Waverly today or tomorrow. They was going to try to get it up yet tonight, but I doubt if they're going to make it with the weather. But if not, they said they'd be there early in the morning and get it up. Basically, the temporary location is going to be right there at the trailhead and the parking lot for the Greenway Trail. When DNR gets all done with the boat ramp that's going in up there at Waverly, there's a triangle area that's going to be decorated a little bit extra. It will go in that center of that triangle, and DNR will be the one placing it there since it's their project. But White River Alliance will be present when that is relocated. So just need a motion to accept the MOU. I know it got sent out earlier and just need to get action on this. So open it up for a motion.
Accept the MOU, but for you scouts, MOU is Memorandum of Understanding, which is just kind of we use too many acronyms in government. So, and I don't know half of them myself. I know that one. So this is we're going to make a memorandum of understanding with with this party on that canoe, and you'll enjoy seeing it. You can't float it, but it's pretty.
We got a motion by Mr. Adams in,
Second.
second by Mr. Collier. Any further discussion from the board? Comments from the attorney? And all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Resolution of disposal of certain real estate in the county. This is actually coming back before us. It's that American Water that went on for a while. And this agreement is for that, disposing of, I believe it's 4 tracts of property, if I remember right, Deb, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to have to table this because what was submitted, the legal description, there's a discrepancy in legal descriptions that I'm working to clear up, huh? Oh,
Oh,
is it? Hello? There's a discrepancy in the legal descriptions that we need to clear up, and so therefore, I think what's in here is correct, but I need to clarify that with them, and I've not heard back from them yet. So as soon as we can get that straight, hopefully we can finally get this done.
entertain a motion to table the resolution of disposal of certain real estate.
Table.
Got a motion, I'll second the motion. Any further questions from the board? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. It's American Water. Don't seem like it'll go away, but. Was you a yes or no, Mr. Collier? I know me and Adams did. You was a yes, right? Motion carries 3-0. Warren County Sheriff Grant application. Good evening, Sheriff.
Evening, guys and gals. How's everybody?
Doing great.
Fine, Sheriff. How are
Good
you?
to see y'all. I appreciate you. The application for the grant application I'm bringing before you is the one that we've done previously, that I brought before you. It's the CHIRP, Click It or Live It, formerly known as the OPO grant. And it's grants offered through the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute Traffic Safety Division. This is going to pay our officers, again, overtime on their off-duty time to do the enforcement of this different blitz, which is 6 different blitz throughout this fiscal year. So you have the paperwork there in front of you that explains all of it that I've talked to you about here. It's going to run October 1st through September 30th, and I just request your blessing on this grant application.
Any questions for the sheriff on this? I'm hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Don't think we made a
Oh,
motion yet.
entertain it for a motion. I am
So
so
moved.
sorry. Got a motion by Mr. Collier. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Adams. Any other questions from the audience on this? Not hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Sheriff, we got a conflict of interest. I didn't know if you wanted to touch on it, but it's somebody that you hired, it sounds like, that does a little bit of work on the equipment, so.
Yes, sir. Walt Stewart was our previous paper server, been there for many, many years as our paper server, and he retired. And after his retirement, we hired Randy Rogers away from Mooresville Police. He retired from that department, and we were able to bring him on board. Randy has done our installation of our vehicles, lights, sirens, everything that we need for years and years and years. Mooresville, Morgan County, Martinsville, he's done a
They
lot
all
of that
use him.
throughout the years.
Yeah.
So we checked with Doree and checked with Deb and checked with some other folks and seen before he even took the job if this would be a conflict of interest. And because of the time that he's done it beforehand and the limited amount that he does do, they said it would not be. But we wanted to present that to you folks and have it sent up the ladder anyways, and make sure that it's done correctly. So that's what this form is that I'm presenting to you.
Any questions from the board?
No.
Not hearing none. I'd entertain a motion on this conflict of interest statement disclosure.
Brian Collier says that we should accept this conflict of interest disclosure statement.
Motion by Mr. Collier to accept the conflict of interest statement. I'll second the motion. Any further questions from the board? Not hearing none. All those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carries 3-0, and thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you,
Appreciate
folks.
it. Dree Fry, UKG. Chevrolet Warmish is gonna be an hour or two tonight, guys, so.
A minute or two.
That's much better.
We, after several months of talking with UKG, they agreed to not charge us for different modules that we are not using with the programs that we had originally selected. So they've issued several credit memos, and This is basically so that we're not charged for the sections or modules that we do not use.
Just need us to accept this agreement?
Yes,
Oh, there is an agreement? Okay, I'm sorry.
yes. And Jim has looked it over.
You're comfortable?
Yeah.
Good deal. Any questions for Dree on this? Not hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for,
This agreement from UKG.
we got a motion by Mr. Adams to accept the agreement by UKG. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Collier. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Dree. Motion
Thank you.
carries 3-0.
Thank you.
You've actually got Able Construction Company. They're actually one of the folks that did go ahead and put a bid in on traditional pit tarlets for Burkhart Creek. You've actually got Sean Anderson Builders that did not get it in. He got a copy of the plans, but did not get it in. Brian Ferry, he's with InMod. You got his quote in there as well. It's a different type of unit. Doug Gerhardt did not go ahead and submit, and Lane Slaughter. Both of them got copies of the plans as well. The state was nice enough, Dan Botner and Darren from Ober Division of Forestry out here at Morgan Monroe, I was able to get a copy of the state plans for their pit tarlets, and that's what we used to go out to bid on. You're gonna see InMod, and I did not get the pictures printed off for you on that. It's basically a shipping container. It is completely redone inside and out, pretty much bulletproof, other than you've got two small skylights on top, so it's got lighting in it. I am trying to work with REMC and get a powered drop out there as well, or if we can, we will put electricity in it as well, but it's pretty much bulletproof. Very nice job. They do a lot of temporary jails, temporary classrooms. They've even actually doing apartments. They've shipped them out west and making apartment units out of these things as well, and also living units. So you're gonna see the quote from Blake come in at $127,754. You're gonna see with InMod, it come in at a total, if you take off the crane rental at the very bottom of $2,095, he is gonna be able to do a straight pull on, and they will slide that right back onto the pad, so that crane's not gonna be necessary. You're looking at $55,551. The others, we're all gonna do the traditional units. State Forestry, they pay about $120,000 for these one-piece concrete pour, the ceiling or the roof on them, everything. If you go to like a lot of the state parks, a lot of the state forestry, they're putting in these pit tarlets with these big Kerman fans, keeping them to where the odor is not like in a porta pot. But they're pretty salty, because after you give the 120, then state's still gotta dig the hole with the backhoe or excavator. They still gotta bring crane in to pick it off semi and set that one big chunk of concrete down. That's about 22 ton of concrete they're setting in the ground. The only thing that we would have to do with this would be cut a little bit of grade out beside the pad, pour an L-shaped pad that we can do in-house to meet the setback. Because the pad where it is, and this unit being a 20 by 20, it's gonna be just a little bit too close. So I wanted to make sure we did meet the county setback, so it would be far enough back if we do a 4-foot by 6-foot L concrete addition to the pad that's out there right now. So, and it would have the footer in it as well. So I was just wanting to try to move forward. We did get $50,000 in the line item of budget time approved for this, and I'm hoping with the council blessing, we're gonna be able to transfer from the salary line item, $6,000 to take care of the little pad pour in-house, and then getting this container. So that's kind of where we're at on it, and if you'd rather wait, I just was so busy, I didn't get the pictures printed off to show you what it looks like inside. But that's where we're at on it. I was hoping to already have a pit tarlet down there at least already, but they're just pretty salty, and I was having a hard time getting guys to even want to bid on it. A lot of these contractors are so booked up, a lot of them you can't even get for 6, 8 months, some of them's booked up. Curtis, some of your better ones, they're booked up for a year already, so. And I just wanted to bring it before you guys, see if you wanted to do anything tonight on it, or just take it under advisement and act on it the next one. That way you will get a chance to see the photos, what the finished product looks like inside and outside. But I'm just trying to make sure we keep this going and get a unit down there yet this year.
So it looks like, I mean, based upon the two quotes, that it's, and having 50,000 in there, that InMod's got the quote that you're looking at. Are you anticipating on them having some type of CPI factor coming in, that they're gonna raise this? How long's this quote good for?
It's good for, both of them are good for 60 days, so we're good. I mean, it's not gonna hurt us to wait till the next meeting, that's for sure.
I'd kind of like to see a picture, really, or visit one of them, just to see it. I don't think I have.
We could do either one. I got pictures of it that I'd have to print off, but I can
You
do
know,
either one.
I'd like to have a picture of Don visiting.
I move so fast that you wouldn't see it.
Real fast.
Well, obviously, the great savings, like 55,000 difference, it would be very favorable for
Yes.
the one from InMod, but
Oh, I definitely. Council agenda for Monday. I definitely will.
I missed that.
Don, I was thinking I had them right here on my phone, but I don't. Oh, I don't have a problem with that. I thought I had it right here, but I don't have it that handy, Don. He evidently, yeah, it's in my emails. I can fix it up where you can go visit one with Brian, or I can do
No, I
pictures,
just
either
need
one.
a picture, I'm not going.
I mean, Brian. I I mean, Brian Ferry, the business owners, who I met with InMod, so. So I'd entertain a motion, to take this under advisement till next meeting.
Yeah, and this, you might get on the council.
I
agenda
will get
then,
on it
so-
in the morning.
And then it'll all be done in one day.
Yep, I'm gonna be meeting with Mr. Baston in the morning anyway, so we will get that done. Entertain a motion on this to table this.
So moved.
I'll second.
Got a first and a second to table this for the next meeting. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
I will say, I'm so glad to see you getting something down there. That's gonna be really, yeah, I know you've been working on it hard. and
I know the ones that utilize the park down there a lot, they are really tickled to know that it's getting close as well. I talked to about 4 people over the last week about it, so.
Yep.
I believe the next thing on the agenda, you've actually got a historic marker in your pack. It's actually the Scott Ferry, the Rockingham, the racetrack out there off of Blue Bluff. This is going all the way back to the 1830s and 40s. The ferry actually operated from 1820 to 1840. This marker was, till they did the improvement for the IPL plan of Blue Bluff and Centerton Road, it used to sit right there. The first house on Blue Bluff on the west side of the road right there, it used to sit right there on the edge of their yard. They wish to not have it back there in their yard anymore, so it's been at the highway garage since that interchange was improved and widened out. I know Deb made some maps. I don't see one in mine. I'm gonna put an X.
Where was this originally?
I'm gonna show you. There was a, you've actually got a, where the old one was is right there where it says old. There's 2 X's there. It's actually county right-of-way now that we purchased off the Stanberries. That's what I would recommend. The reason why I'm recommending that, if you read this, it's on the Scott's Ferry. First one, it says 1 mile south of this, Samuel Scott's family operated a ferry from the 1820 to the 1840s across White River. If we put it right back in the same vicinity, we're only gonna be a few feet off of the original location. It's still gonna be fairly close to the 1 mile and a few feet, but, so I'm gonna work with Karen Stansberry tomorrow and see if we can get that done in that location. Even though it is county right-of-way, she's the one that does maintain that as far as mowing it for us, and she keeps all of her yard and all of, basically everything that we acquired, except for Westcott pavement on it now. She still maintains that for us, so. I just want to be a good neighbor and make sure we're working with them, but wanted to make sure you guys was fine with that. The daughters, the DRA actually did that while they did the other plaques up on the courthouse square, so it didn't cost the county to get anything done to that, and it looks like brand new again, so.
Looks pretty.
I just, basically an FYI, just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. I knew you was on the cleaning part, but I wanted to make sure you was on the location, but I just feel like it's better to put it back there. The other option would be put it all the way down by where the old horse track was back in the 1800s. Put it on that piece of property, but then that's gonna put you off on that Top Ferry location that they've stayed
Right,
there, so.
it wouldn't
Uh,
fit
it
with
wouldn't
the
fit,
1 mile
so-
south. It won't happen.
That's what I'm thinking,
It's
so.
just got the right spot right
Yep.
there.
I just want to make sure you guys were aware of that, so.
Thank you.
I'll put this up here on the table for those after the meeting want to see what it looks like
Yeah,
restored.
good idea.
It looks very nice.
Very nice.
And we thank the DAR
Oh, yeah.
for doing the ones on the courthouse as well. It's part of our bicentennial project, but it's just really, really nice.
Yeah, all four of them, they look like brand-new plaques again. I mean, they're really nice. So, moving right on along, Mr. Tony, bid paving.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, so last meeting, we did our CCMG 2021-1 paving bid opening. We did do a complete bid tab. EMB was the low bidder that did have a complete and responsible, reasonable bid. So therefore, I would suggest a motion that we recommend awarding the CCMG 2022-1 to EMB for paving next year. Again, this will be one of 3 parts overall for our next year's paving plan.
Any questions for Tony on any of this? Not, I'd entertain a motion on the bid paving.
It was
for-
E and B?
E and B, yes.
Yes.
For $1,605,000.
Yes.
Move to approve.
Got a motion by Mr. Adams to approve. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Collier. Any further questions from the board? Any from the audience? Not hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. While you're up there, Mr. Tony.
Yes.
Bottom Road, did you get your second appraisal?
We
You
just
did.
got it today, got it about 5 o'clock, so I don't believe it's in your packets. I did send it to the county attorney. He did review it. He did send out a letter then you all have in your emails. The official letter and package should be there. So I would actually ask for a motion at this time, pending further review by the attorney. If the attorney believes that all things are factual and in proper order, that we send the letter per the attorney to the landowner on Batham Road. Then we take this off the agenda. I would ask for a motion that we do that.
That's on the condition that after Jim looks at it.
On the condition that after Jim further reviews, we believe it's in good order. He'll dot the i's, cross the t's over the next week or so,
We've
send
been
that letter out.
waiting on that for a while. It needs to get
Yes.
done, so let's go ahead and I'll make a motion. We go ahead and do that pending Jim's approval. We'll trust him. He's a,
We got a motion on the floor to move forward with the appraisals on the Bottom Road property for that straightening pending legal counsel's blessing on that.
Second.
Second by Mr. Collier. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Anything else, Tony?
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
How fast is actually gonna take place after the letter goes out? How fast will we start seeing action on that corner?
Well, once the letter goes out, it's for, it's appraisal and it's an offer. He will counter, I'm sure, pretty much tell us where to go with that offer.
He has 30 days to respond to the letter from the time he receives it. And then thereafter, we can, by him agreeing, he can sell it to us, which is explained in the packet he'll get, or we'll file condemnation action if he's not accepted or countered to our satisfaction after 30 days.
And then how long is it gonna take to counter, to actually get dirt moving?
I would hope to have next year, early next year. Only, because if, think about the time. Sure.
4 years. 4 years.
Actually,
Like pivot to people,
sure.
and they keep saying, we'll get done this fall.
Actually, I believe it's probably been longer than that from what I'm hearing in the highway garage. With that said, you finally have a letter going to him and then the actual condemnation going forward. The other part of that too is we are going to use a lot of this for training for our guys. The road is actually going to be rebuilt by highway garage guys.
Well, now I got something, like I say, okay, I thought it would be done this fall, now I gotta go back to, well, it's not gonna get done this fall because of.
Well, there are a few reasons, and it's going to be the negotiations and the condemnation process that's going to take
We
place.
know how the negotiation works for him anyway, so.
Yes, correct. Correct, but the condemnation process will take it into the winter, for sure.
It'll be next spring for him.
I would see something
I would
next year.
think that it is reasonable to make the statement that it's, dirt ought to be moved, as in we would be at that point in the proceedings, if in fact that occurs, which seems likely, by this fall. I mean, I don't think it'll be done by this fall, but I think it's reasonable to say we'd be started before the fall or before the end of the year. Is that better?
I hesitate, I try to hedge my bets a little bit more than the attorney, only because I understand the condemnation process could take a while. And we need to own the land before we start moving dirt. Yes.
You've been part of it, you've been in the process.
Yes.
It's been drug out.
Just wanted to make sure, but
Yes,
that's all.
this is a big step. This is a big step going forward. You're very welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen. Anything else, Tony?
Anything else for me?
We're done.
Thanks,
Thank you. Mr. Wisco, I know you got down here an MOU, and I discussed this today with you a little bit about the application for the, being able to not close the, or to close the road down during the O-Town Waverly Festival as well as the haunting. And I know you've looked at what I sent her and she had sent to you because I asked her to send it to you. You're comfortable with all of it now?
Yes, I'm comfortable with it for certain. I think our conversation earlier, I maybe how imminent, I guess, is, we discussed an MOU or not, and I was on that thinking because I think Mr. Seeger suggested that. So is that?
No, he.
No, okay,
No.
all right.
No.
So
No,
I'm fine
he's-
with what Valita's saying, yeah.
He sent the application to me. I went ahead and forwarded it to Valita when I had the COVID and had her fill it out, and I told her I wanted you to check it out before we sent it back to him. So that's
And
where
I
a
did
little bit
that,
of the
and that's right.
confusion was. So-
Okay.
But I just wanted to make sure you were still comfortable with the application.
Yeah.
Because DNR is pretty sticky when it comes to leases for ramps and also anything as far as being able to close that ramp down per that lease agreement, so.
Sure.
So that's why he sent us that application that their attorneys have prepared, so. So there's really no action needs to be taken on that, really, that I see. It's just an application, so. Moving right on along, we got EMS. Are you ready for that, Jim?
Yes, I don't know if Ben had any additions to,
No, I don't really have anything else. It's just modifying the reimbursement agreement that we already have, where we are sending our EMTs to paramedic school. It's, some of the things that we changed, there, in the previous contract, there was a specific amount that they might be responsible for written in the contract, and we thought that it'd be best to remove that, because that amount's gonna be dependent on what school they go to. And then we also believe we modified the number of years that they have to commit to us. We made that 2 years, so if they leave within 0 to 1 years, they're responsible for 100% of the cost. 1 to 2 years, 50% is, 2 years is the agreement that they have to stay here. And the other thing is, we have an agreement with Ivy Tech, due to our preceptor hours that they're current students, we earn credits to send our folks to their school at no cost to us, but we're still out money because we let them out on training leave and cover their spots. So even though we're not paying tuition for them, they're still responsible for reimbursing the county any expenses that we might incur on their behalf.
Any questions for Ben on this? Or for Mr. Wisco? Not hearing none, I'd entertain a motion on the EMS employee reimbursement agreement that's before us.
Makes that motion that we accept the Morgan County Emergency Medical Service Employee Reimbursement Agreement.
We got a motion by Mr. Collier to accept the Morgan County Emergency Medical Service Reimbursement Agreement. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Mr. Adams. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Collier, aye. Abstentions and abstain. I'm going to abstain on this one. Thank you, Mr. Ben. Jim, Amendment 43. 34 or 43? Is it 40? It is 34. Thank you.
30, it is 34. I'm going to ask if we can table that, and I know it's kind of been hanging over for long too, but I will get a copy of it to Mark and Josh before next meeting, and hopefully we can have a first reading next meeting anyway. Okay.
Table?
We got a motion and a second to table the amended Chapter 34 for EMA. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Mr. Adams, for the good of the cause and the county.
Well, I think the first thing is, glad to have the scouts here. And we always want to work together with scout groups. I'm glad to have the troop here. If you want to stick around right afterwards, I'll answer questions, or any of us will. But you know, it's kind of hard when you probably want to discuss that. We had a nice event this last Saturday, a barn event, statewide barn convention, and it went well. But that's in the past. What we've got in the future is a county fair, and sheriff's working real hard. We have animals this weekend, I think, and sir? Thursday? All right. So things are moving out at the fair. And it's an exciting time of year for for everybody. So enjoy the fair. And I could jabber more, but I'll just let that be the end of my...
I'm going to make one other comment for the good of the county. As you know, Martinsville is celebrating its bicentennial. Also, Morgan County is. And pleased to announce that we are going to have the governor down here on September 24th at the O-Town Waverly Festival. He'll be down there at 10 o'clock. I believe we have him from 10 to 10:45, I believe, that morning. So I think that's another, didn't think we was going to be able to get him, but with some help of about 3 people, we was able to twist some arms and get him down here. So just wanted to let the public know that. So the big celebration will be here in Martinsville. And Gary, can you give us a date on that? It's the weekend before the festival, correct? 17th. Yep. Good deal. Good deal. And like I said, O-Town Waverly Park will be celebrating the kickoff of the festival. It's Saturday, September 24th, and it'll go Saturday and Sunday. So there's nothing else needs to come before the county. I'd entertain a motion for adjournment. Oh, we got one. She beat you, Brian. She got that hand up there fast.
I have 2 suggestions. to the fine gentlemen in the back who meet at my church, St. Martin's Sexton Hall. When you stand up and speak your name, say it clearly and with pride. Don't mumble, don't halfway stand up. Your name is important, Mr. Fenton Seibert. Say it with pride. My second suggestion is that Mr. Hale and Mr. Adams invite these fine gentlemen with their new scoutmaster, since Mr. Andy Cox retired, to be with you when you look at the Burkhart Park. Bathrooms?
You're
Thank
always
you.
welcome. So see you.
Thank you.
Well, I invite all of them.
Boys are used to latrines. I'm not sure they'll go after the Burkhart Creek fancy one, but we'll see.
We got a motion by Mr. Collier for adjournment. I'll second the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming out tonight.
I'll go back to visit with the boys. It was an agreement.
You
that
need to
was
talk to
the problem.
Mr.
It wasn't
Wisco.
well, Kenny, you can tell him.
It's a legal agreement. You need to talk to Mr. Wisco on that. He just went that away. He didn't leave, I know. His computer's here.